Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
And also joining us on the phone, and we're so delighted that he is here. Please welcome Glenn Irwin. Hello, Glenn.
How you doing? How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. You're more than welcome to be here on the show. You're here live on Motorsport Radio. I think you're making your Motorsport Radio debut, so welcome again for that. And Kiko, as ever, has a whole bag of questions for you, Glenn. So I hope you're prepared for this.
Yeah, I'm ready. Get far ahead. Get them out there.
Right then, we'll start, obviously, 2017, what a year it's been for you. Started off really well. We kind of saw the real Glenn Irwin come out in the first couple of rounds. Really, really good first 2 or 3 rounds, obviously. So how's your season been so far? Now you look back on it, now it's all done. 2017, the highlights of it, what would you class as they? What have they been?
I think the highlights are quite easy to pick as they all jump out. We all race motorbikes to win, and I got my first British Superbike win at Silverstone, and I won the Northwest 200, and I also won the Sunflower Trophy with we had some good opposition at that. So, we also had a number of podiums prior to the injury as well in British Superbikes. So, we've still got Macau to go as well. So hopefully that can be another victory in another arena as well.
Absolutely, like you just said, what was it like to win your first British Superbike race? Because your injuries, will come on to them a little bit later, but your injuries this year have been really difficult. So to come back and to prove that you still have it, that's got to feel really special. And to do it in front of, you weren't going to be in the showdown, but to prove to people that you could have done it anyway, you could have been in the showdown had you not had that injury, it's got to feel very, very good for you.
Yeah, it was a really special feeling. I think no matter what the circumstances for anybody to win their first British Superbike race is, we all like I said, we all race to win, and when you get that winning feeling, is that's the ultimate buzz from racing. For me, it's not the thrill of riding a motorbike. That's not what I'm about. It's winning and getting that feeling at such a high level was. It was fantastic, and if I look back on it, considering where I came from injury-wise this year, it really is special that we done that. My injury was a career-ending injury, but I wouldn't take it as that. We probably defied doctors and whatnot, and seen the right people and done the right things, and I guess with an attitude that I wouldn't be beat. Helped me get to where I got with that win. But I'm not the kind of person that rests in that. I don't want to say to people 20 years down the line when I'm retired that I've won a British Superbike race one day. I want to go on and win championships, and I've seen the progress I've made from my injury. And, more so in the last week. I'm still training because we've got Macau in 2 weeks' time, and the strength in the gym has really, really, really come on. And, we're lifting up weights that are respectable to lift in the gym rather than having some little kids looking at you while you're lifting a 2 kilogram shoulder press. But thankfully we've moved on from that, and we've hopefully we'll have a fun career ahead. Yeah,
absolutely. Going into race 1 at Silverstone, did you believe that you could win it, or was you a bit surprised when you did win it?
I totally believed they could win it, and I think that's always important in any form of sport, or any form of whatever you do in life that you got to be successful at. I was on the grid, conditions were quite in between, very, very dry in areas, and not so much dampness. It was either extremely wet or extremely dry. So my theory was that the intermediate tire or anything other than a wet, you would lose far too much time in the very wet parts of the track to cancel out, the guys that are running full wets. And I didn't think that the intermediate tire would, yes, it would be quicker at the end of the race, but what I'm trying to say is it wouldn't be quick enough to pull back what you would lose when the track was very wet at the beginning. So some people, were on the grid and, I think walked off the grid. Some people also had, some people had dry. I think Sylvan had full dry front and rear on, and I remember looking thinking, right, well, he's not going to feature and he's not going to feature. I picked out Josh, Hopkins, myself and Jake, and that was the 4 guys in and around the front 2 rows around my wear that had the full wet combination, and that was going to be the race for the win. And it's a long enough race around there. Like I said, there's a lot of dryness, so the wet tires could chew up easily, but that's I think that's how we won it. We didn't try to lead the race at the beginning, as you do in a dry race, and you manage your tire. And I started to catch the guys without really trying to catch them as such. And it's weird. It's like a story that you don't know the ending of, but you kind of know where it's going.
Yeah. How has your recovery been from injuries? Just talk to us a bit more. As you said, it could have been a career ender. Why is that? What was the injury, first of all?
It sounds simple enough, when you first say to people, I dislocated my shoulder or I dislocated my elbow, but I dislocated them both. I broke my elbow, I broke my shoulder in 3 places, but it's more all the other bits of damage that we've done. We got a lot of nerve damage. I still have it from my shoulder traveling down my arm. Have a lot of ligament damage and things, so that's where my weakness has been. It's only now that the strength is beginning to come back, but if you're to tense your bicep, you can feel like the bicep and that's tense or your tricep. Whereas with me, there's no connection from my brain to my bicep. It's really weird. I certainly wouldn't want to be showing off my guns, put it like that. I find it hard to even do that, if I'm being honest. But in terms of general strength, it is coming back, on a whole, and on the bike it's came back enough to where I don't believe it's affecting me. I think my style's still a little bit, I'm not hanging off the bike to the left hand side as much because I am weaker when I'm in that position, but it's really, really making great progress, and we'll be 100% fine for 2018.
Great to hear that you will be back, of course. But to go back to another highlight of 2017, probably one of my favourites across all categories of motorcycle racing this year, the Northwest 200. What was that like to win that race in probably what was the best Northwest 200 I think we've ever seen in the last 25 years?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I said at the track, straight after the race, my memories are growing up as a child and going to watch my dad and Jim Moody and Ian Duffus, David Jeffries, McGuinness, Michael Rutter, Colin Ramsey, loads of different riders, and it's that. Being that kid, running about the golf course on the BMX and just playing for a full week solid was always like a special memory. So to go there and to win that, and it wasn't just that we had a fantastic race and a real nail biter, if you want to call it that. But the support I had trackside was phenomenal, and it's something that I really, really, really appreciate. I seen the guys like and ladies and whatnot going crazy on the first lap, and I kind of thought, flip, the crowd they're really into the superbike race. This is pretty cool. And it's only really when I got to like lap 2, lap 3 that the crowd was still going absolutely mental. I realised they were cheering for me, and that's such a special feeling. And to anyone that did cheer me on that day, thank you very much. It probably gave me that extra little bit of motivation to win that race, and yeah, we won it. To be fair, I always did feel in control. Hutchie and Alistair pushed me hard. I actually spoke about that the other day. We were talking about Hutchie and what he's been through, and you got to give him a lot of respect because I'm racing superbikes week in, week out, and Alistair's had a very strong short circuit career in recent years, and to be fair, Ian has too, but for him to be mixing it, with with us, especially after all his injuries. I thought was a real credit to him, and it's been a real shame of how it went for him in the months to come as well. So he'll be back.
He will, yeah. Just talk us through the last half a lap of the final lap of the Northwest 200. You know, you was leading into Metropole. You was beaten into Church. Everyone thought Alistair Seeley had it wrapped up because he's so good along the coast road. And then you come along and you beat him down into the chicane and hold it. I mean, what an experience. And the crowd as well, like you say. We could hear him over the bike from the telly, so it must have been incredible.
Yeah, it was cool. The last half a lap, I obviously led at Coleraine, which is after the big long straight. So I thought, right, we're still in the lead. I'm sure somebody's going to swing past me somewhere here. I was leading back to Portrush, and it's real funny. There was two guys sitting on a gate in the field, and every lap I was looking at them about 160 miles an hour, and like giving them like a stare, to show that I'm having a lot of fun here too. And on the last lap, I actually forgot to look at them. It's how it's mad how focused that you become when it really matters. So yeah, that's one of my memories from the last lap. That after I went past that I forgot. But coming down to Portrush with the lead, and I felt really, really, really strong on the coast road, and I could see a back marker in the distance as we were coming down towards Metropole. I was beginning to think, no, please, I'm going to catch you at the wrong place. And I'm not the kind of person that would do, anything stupid on anybody on a road race, and obviously back markers included. So I'm seeing this guy and I'm thinking, oh, no, what am I going to have to do here? And yeah, I hesitated quite a lot, and I finally picked that I would go around him, but Alistair was very committed.
Tell us what happened after that when you were chasing Alistair Seeley along the coast road.
Yeah, so fair play to Alistair. He capitalised on the back marker, and he actually done something similar to William Dunlop, if you remember, a few years ago, but probably a little bit of a harder move. But he took the lead, and I guess confidence is a key thing in racing. And I remember when he took the lead, obviously I didn't want to lose the lead, but I remember thinking like, whoa, sounds really arrogant to say it, and I don't mean it in this way, but I was like, are you stupid? Like, I felt so good on the coast road, and I'd been really strong in the Juniper chicane that as soon as he took the lead there, he was quite strong under the railway bridge. It's quite bumpy there, and it's part of the track where I don't like to take much of a risk, and he just took a few bike lengths. But when I say I felt in control of the whole race, it's the one corner where I did go harder than usual is Black Hill in the last lap. It was really important to get a good run out, and that we did. I got the good slipstream, and yeah, basically got beside Alistair and just kind of moved him over to the left hand side of the road where it was a bit bumpier so that he couldn't retaliate. And yeah, it was I led into Juniper chicane, and if you lose the race after that, there's something wrong with you. So I led into Juniper, and the rest is history. As I say, we're at the last couple hundred yards and up around the last corner, and it was a really, really, really special feeling. I myself could hear the crowd, and I was on a motorbike that was still revving. So phenomenal feeling. I love watching it back still. It gives me great, great, great memories. And yeah, the celebrations after were all in accordance with such a great race, and with a couple of very respected riders, and with riders with many victories between them.
Absolutely. You become a select group, a part of a select group that have won the big one at the Northwest 200, which is, not many people can say they've done that. But one point of that last lap that we haven't mentioned is when you crossed the line. First of all, how did it feel to listen to the crowd when obviously you kind of not chilled out, but you've got you've took a bit of a second or two to think about it, and all the crowd are going mental. And then as you're doing a burnout, your brother runs on, Andy runs on. How did that feel? I mean, watching that on telly was like, this can't be happening, surely.
Yeah, it was class. We're a really, really close family, and we support each other as much as you can. And I'm doing this burnout, and I'm totally probably unaware of what's going on around me, other than I've just won the Northwest Champion Superbike race, doing this mad burnout. And then Andy and Charlie King appear. Charlie actually used to race Superstock 600 in England, and he actually came to Macau with me last year, and helped out a little bit there, just as a bit of a wingman. And the two of them basically appear through the smoke, and they're like fist pumping, and I can see the emotion and the happiness in them. And I'm like looking back through the helmet, like, I'm not going to swear on the radio, but it was absolutely awesome. It was, it was an incredible feeling, and so good to have my brother there with me. There, I was able to chuck my PBM Ducati at him while I went through some bits of memorabilia into the crowd. So I seem
to remember you struggling to get your glove chucked over the fence. You had a few goes at it, didn't you? In the end, you had 3 or 4 attempts.
Yeah, I probably took 3 or 4 good attempts to get the glove over. And it's funny, but my trainer was standing there, and he's like, "Did you not see me? You could have just gave me the glove." I couldn't have told you who was standing there. I was on cloud 9, and still am when I think about it, and hopefully we get that memory again.
Well, you'll be back there next year, and you'll be with Paul Bird Motorsport next year. One question we've had in already from Simon Horse says, what made you stay with Paul Bird Motorsport for a 3rd consecutive season?
I've never rid for anyone for more than 2 years, so I believe continuity is an important thing, and in any form of racing, especially when it's the most successful team in British Superbikes. There's a number of reasons why I stayed. Obviously, I did have a lot of interest from other teams, which, just as a person, that's nice. I didn't use it as a leverage, or X is offering me this, can you give me that? That's not my game. I'm quite straight up. I speak my mind. So does Paul, and it's quite funny. We actually get on quite well. Sometimes you think, two people with that kind of mindset, how does it work? But it does. But to answer your question, it's a factory Ducati team. It's a team that I believe this year has really, really understood me a lot more. And my side of the garage is knows how to fire me up now, and what works for Glenn, and I believe I'm getting that from them. So, results-wise, everything was going really, really good until our injury, which probably ruined, a minimum showdown. And we came back, and we did have a tough time. I'll be the first to admit it. The injury probably didn't hold me back as much in the later rounds as I was myself. I just wasn't in a great place, to be truthfully honest. I took the whole thing quite bad. How you could go from such a high to, suddenly like a rock bottom in terms of where I was in myself. And we dug deep and salvaged a 7-foot bronze, and went a little bit stronger at the Sunflower with the win there. So the team have stuck by me. That's one thing for sure. But I also believe I've showed enough to earn that 3rd year, and it's nice that Paul's rewarded me with that. That's when you have a team that stand by you when you're lying, at home, kind of rock bottom, your season ruined with an injury that was certainly not my fault and nor the team's. To have that bit of loyalty coming back means a lot, and I intend to repay that. So yeah.
What was it like to be part of the Paul Bird Motorsport team when Shane Byrne kind of turned it all around in the last race of the day, or the last weekend of the year, when he took that British Superbike victory? It's like, since you've come in, they've won 2 championships, but it's not been you who's winning them. So it's got to be annoying for you. But what does it feel to be part of the winning team in British Superbikes?
Yeah, look, I'm lucky to have a good relationship with Shaky. Obviously, I would prefer to be the guy winning the championship, but that day will come. I have no doubt about that. And it would be nice to be doing it under the Paul Bird banner. But obviously it was really nice. It makes a great vibe in the team, and it was probably helped as well. For me, if I had rubbish results and Shaky won it, it wouldn't have been cool. But we woke up a little bit at that last round. Like I said, we had a really strong 7th in race 2, and caught the likes of Brooksy and O'Halloran basically the whole second half of the race, and finished right behind Hickman at the line. So yeah, it was nice to be part of it, considering I had a more positive weekend after where we had been. So the boss man was happy, Shaky was happy. I know they all stayed on a few days on the Sunday night, and I did say if he won the championship, I would do the same. But we had that sunflower the following week, and yeah, we packed up the motorhome and drove to Northampton and booked ourselves a hotel for the night and chilled out with myself and my missus and my son Freddie.
Oh, so, great to hear. So it was a good end to get into the BSB season, but of course that's not the last race on your agenda. You said the Sunflower, but you've also got the Macau GP coming up. You went well there, very well there last season. What can we expect from you in Macau this season?
As I always say, road racing's a funny one. Like you got to go out and practice, and you gotta get into it. You got to feel it, because it's not like British Superbikes or track racing where you can go out and force something to happen, because what can happen if you force something in road racing is obviously very, very not good. With the one way of putting it. So I always say you got to go there, you got to suss it out, see how it's feeling, go and do qualifying, and if you're thereabouts, then for sure have a crack at winning it. Do I want to win it? Yes, certainly. Like I said, if I could win a Northwest, a Sunflower, a British Superbike race, and a Macau in the 1 year, it would mean I've won basically everything that I've entered in terms of a race of each of them. So that's certainly on my to-do list. I know the team want to win it, and so do I. So yeah, we've got really tough opposition there, but do I believe I can win it? I do.
Will we see Glenn Irwin and Paul Bird Motorsport do any wild cards next year in World Superbikes at Donington Park, maybe?
I don't think so. I think the team already have a lot of commitment. When you add in the lads doing the Northwest, and then also travelling to Sunflower and all our pre-season testing in Spain, and every round, like the boys have a life outside of racing as well as the us riders, and it's nice to have a weekend off here and there. Would I love the opportunity to do Donington? For sure. Our bikes aren't the same in terms of electronics, but Jake done it this year, and before Jake hit form as well is when he done it and proved quite competitive. Like, I do believe we could go and we could finish in the top 10 as it is, but it's that day will come, and that day will come when hopefully we're in that arena week in, week out.
Absolutely. Obviously, that's got to be the end goal. What about, obviously, we've mentioned that you're going to the Macau and you've been at the Northwestern one. What about the Isle of Man TT? Is that on your agenda in the near future? Maybe next year or the year after?
You would not believe the amount of times I get asked this, but that's it.
I'm sure I've asked you before.
you haven't been, but I had a good. We sat on an interview the other day with Stephen Davidson, who's the well-known road racing photographer journalist from Northern Ireland. And it was for the Motorcycling News, like a Macau preview, and he said, the one thing that I like about you, it's like you've dipped your toe in, you've done the Ulster Grand Prix, you've nearly won it your first time, you've won the Northwest Superbike your first time in that, you nearly won Macau last year, but everyone else that does these, they'll just think about they're building for the TT, and he's like, you don't even mention it. I love the TT personally. I think it's a great spectacle. I really enjoy going over every year. Paul Phillips and his team they're very good to me. They always sort us out, with a number of passes for the guys that are on the boat trip. We take a little rib boat over. They're actually sponsors of mine. The Land Rover Centre, BLRC. So we go over with them every year, and we get well looked after. And like I said, it's a great spectacle. And I would love to one day say that I've won one. Just to say it. Do I believe I could win one? Certainly, in no arrogant way. Of the lads that I've beat on circuits and roads, and it's just another circuit, road race, another road circuit. But I'd also love to get to the end of my career and to say that I resisted it, and I never done it, because it's having family now changes a lot of things for me. And like, even when I do the Northwest, even like Macau, I speak very, very straight up. But like at the minute, I'm nervous for Macau because it's insanely dangerous what we do there. And to be honest, a lot of riders maybe think it's worse than the TT, and it probably is in some ways. And it's not as long and mentally enduring, but you kind of don't know what's happening for the next 2-3 weeks, if you get me. Once you get that over and done with, there's no like insanely dangerous activity that you're about to do. And if you're to add in another race like that, being the TT and being 2 weeks long, it's another 2 weeks of every year that just makes it harder to get to the end of the year. And that's I'm happy just keeping that little risk kind of as limited as it can be.
Absolutely. I mean, the Ironman is a very different kind of race. You're on your own. You're not in a pack like the Northwest. So do you think you'd be able to adapt straight away to the Ironman TT, or do you think it would just be quite a difficult thing to overcome, and that's racing on your own to time kind of thing?
Look, I think we all love racing, certainly, but I think there, like, we say you're on your own, but I wouldn't be going and starting off at number one, or I think in your first year the highest you can start off would be 21, depending on your speed. So very quickly these 10-second gaps, dwindle down, and you do end up on the road with a lot of different guys. So I don't think that's too much of a thing. I think it is a bit different that it's not. Your opponent isn't necessarily right beside you on the track. You're gauging where he is on a pit board. But I don't think that changes for me. It doesn't make it better or worse. I hold the event in the highest regard. But I also hold the Northwest and Ulster Grand Prix on equally high, because I believe the guys that are winning them races sometimes just don't get the same credit as the TT. And I know some people think maybe it's the ultimate test of TT, and for sure it is. But so's going head to head in a pack at the Northwest, and the racing we're seeing at the Ulster Grand Prix this year was fantastic. Dean Harrison done a really good job to win, and pulled a very hard move on Dan Nean, but a hard but fair move. And that is on a public road as well. So I think any road racing deserves the maximum respect, and none of it has more of an appeal than any version of it. It all appeals to me. Everyone that competes deserves to be respected for it. But time trial racing is what it is. It's another form of racing.
Exactly. I mean, I speak to a few people, and before it would have been the Northwest 200 is the warm-up event to the Ironman TT, but it is becoming its own kind of event now. It's becoming a real crowd pleaser, which is really good. Final question. I'm going to put it to you. I haven't actually got it planned, but we've spoke about both of them, your British Superbike, your first BSB win, and your first Northwest 200 win. And which one of them was a more special moment for you?
I'm going to answer you very awkward. I could answer you quick and pick one, but I've kind of said this a few times this year. When I won the Northwest, which I'd done before a Superbike race, it was like a great it was like a sense of achievement, if you want to put it like that, like a bucket list goal, where it was like I've done that, because when you've done that, you can't go no higher, because you've done it. Whereas when I won a British Superbike race, and when I've had good rides and seconds and thirds in BSB, to me it's like satisfaction, where right, we've done this now we can step it up a gear. Because winning the Northwest, it's not a championship. You've done it, you've won it. Whereas winning the BSB, there's 26 races in 1 year, and it gives you that belief that you can do that more and more. So in terms of satisfaction, the BSB for sure, because that's the ultimate test for me. The riders we're racing against are the top drawer, and to win against them is a real step in your career. but to win the Northwest is like what you dream of as a kid. So two very different feelings, but two feelings that you couldn't get sick of, put it like that.
Yeah, they're both the winning feeling. Just got one more question for you. It's not from me, excuse me. It's from Simon Hall. Have Ducati got any new parts for you in 2018 that you know of now?
Well, not obviously the new Superbike will be coming out in 19, so development will slow down in our bike. Some people might be worried about that for next year. Will we fall behind? But certainly not. Our guys are already on the ball. We have swinging arms from Ducati that have been developed constantly, and we can also now go down our own route and maybe get swinging arms developed outside of that by our own people, and we could measure what they've done and build swinging arms in between. So yeah, we can basically further develop a further developed part as such. We've a couple of chassis components that arrive just through the year, and then we can maybe try to source an in between of that. We can get a little bit more power still. There's an exhaust. There's loads of things can still be done. It will slow down in the factory, but it won't stop. So yeah, we'll be fine. Our bike will be good enough, certainly.
That's really good to hear. Obviously, you'll be back with Shaky next year, and you'll be back with the Paul Bird team next year. But I'm just going to check if there's been any more questions come in. I do not think there has been. It's been quite quiet as far as questions have gone tonight. No, that's it. So, Glenn, I'm going to let you get off. I think you was playing FIFA earlier, so I'll let you go back onto that.
I've done the FIFA. I'm packing for we've actually got the end of season party this weekend with the championship winning party. So we're on a flight over tomorrow, and we'll head up. I'll catch up with the boss man tomorrow, and then we'll let the hair down on Saturday night, as I say. But yeah, just for everyone listening as well, thanks for tuning in, and if any of my sponsors are listening as well, and I did actually text a few. I texted Eddie from the Hill Trust, if he's listening, just a big thank you for everything he's done. And yeah, if anyone wants to go on and read the hill-trust.org, it's a great charity that are set up and they help me. So yeah, anybody else who's listening in, thank you very much for your help. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Glenn Irwin there. What a pleasure to talk to the Northwest 200 winner. Thank you.
Amazing stuff. And yeah, thank you as well, Glenn, for coming on. And what a nice guy Kiko he is, isn't he? He's just, you could tell from that. I mean, I not yet ever had the chance to sort of interview him face to face at BSB or anyone else. But you can just tell from listening to him. It's just a totally, and you can really get the enthusiasm that he still has, amazingly so. And you can, for the people who have a bit of a hard time understanding the mindset, or let's say craziness of these top riders who have seemingly the worst, most disgusting looking crashes on a Sunday, and then in some riders' cases it only takes them like a week or so to get back on the bike, and they're flying around Macau or doing the Northwest 200 or whatever, whereas someone like myself that'd be me out of action. I'd be retired. That'd be game over for me. You just can't be doing with any sort of pain or injury or anything like that. You can still tell his enthusiasm, despite still clearly, as he admitted himself, still he's got work to do. He's still kind of suffering, if that's the wrong word, from his ongoing things that he's had this year, and he's looking forward already to going back to Macau. He's already kind of planning in his head about maybe doing the TT, although I noticed though when you asked him, he didn't specifically say that he was doing the TT in 2018, so maybe it's 2019, whenever he's ready. There's no big rush.
Motorsport Radio, the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.